War rages across the mortal realms. New alliances are formed while others lie shattered, and the dominant powers ever seek their next conquest. As these two powerful forces prepare to clash, only one will rise victorious when the dust settles. While this and countless other battles rage on, one fact is becoming clear. The season of war has begun. This video is brought to you by the support of our channel members and the FLGS Partners, Warfire Minis, and X-Planet. Looking for a painting commission? Check out artwstudio.com.
Hello and welcome to Season of War! Today we are excited to bring you another game of Age of Sigmar, and I am excitedly joined by Mark for the first time. Welcome to the channel, Mark. Obviously, local guy as well. We play all the time at X-Planet, so have known you from there for a long time. But excited to have you on the channel.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. Also, a fellow civilized, cultured elf player. So excited for that. I don't think we've had anyone else bring Deepkin onto the channel. I think I'm the only one that's ever played Deepkin on the channel.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so exciting. Different list, which is also super great to see. So it'll be fun to see a different take. But just to jump into things really quick, the mission we're playing today is Nidus Pass. As you see, we got 4 objectives. Hold 1, 2 more, so standard storing. The only trick to this one is you can teleport from opposite corners with the unit if you throw it in the corner. Often not relevant. We're both fairly speedy. Between you're really quick and I have the deep strike, so the teleport wasn't the end of the world. And that's about it for the mission. Yeah. Mark, do you want to take us through your list?
Absolutely, I'd love to. It's Sharknado. Yeah. All the sharks. So it's a 2-drop list. It has my general, who is the Achillean King, has Unstoppable Fury, your typical Smash King build with the Arcane Tome, Flaming Weapons. Yeah, he's very exciting. Lotan, his trusty HR manager, giving out the +1 to wound aura and once per game ritual thing, my Ishran hero. And then we have the Eidolon of the Sea. Eidolon of the Sea gives me Tsunami of Terror, which is a War Scroll spell, which is the really spicy one with D3, potentially neg1 to save, which is really great. I got the teleport spell on it, so if I'm not within range of 12, I can hopefully cast it, then get within range, then go for my target. Only in melee though, so gotta get to combat.
I mean, it's a good spell. If it was in shooting too, it would be like all the reavers and stuff.
Just everything you'd shoot down, it's 2 units, so the breakdown is the Shiver, so the single shark units are all in the Shiver. And then I got 2 units of 2 sharks. Nice. Yeah.
Look at all those sharks. Yeah. Are they cool? Yeah, so a lot of sharks, 7 in total on the table.
Yep.
Yeah, and you do have a cheeky ally in there as well.
I do, yes, Dorelia, who's hopefully gonna shoot and snipe some wizards.
Yes, she can definitely do that. And you're in Futhon. Yep. So yeah, nice. Excited to see all the sharks. I have like 4 painted up and another 3 built, so I could run 7. So I'm excited to see how they do. Yeah. Otherwise, though, for me, this is similar to actually the exact same as the list I last ran in our Seraphon match. If you remember, you would have seen that one on the channel already. I want to run this list again in hopes that I have my heroes at the start of my turn 2, because that hurt last time. So just want to give it another test again. Just exactly that, gets more experience with some different pieces. But I am running Castelli, so standard there. I have the 2 units of 10 Blood Knights and the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. As kind of my 3 big pieces in the army and my 3 big hammers. Then I also have the Coven Throne as another hero. And then I have 20 Graveguard and 2x10 Skeletons. So, and standard staples. The 2 units of Skeletons, the Graveguard, and 1 of the units of Blood Knights are all in Deep Strike. So they'll be coming up either from grave sites or board edge for the Blood Knights. So it helps me a little bit be, with mobility and hopefully be able to, screen and store objectives and stuff. But as our little terror is destroying the battlefield, I was a 4-drop here, Mark, so you will have choice of who goes first.
I normally don't do this, but I think I'm going to take first.
Okay, sounds good. So we'll jump into Idoneth Deepkin, turn 1.
The Gravelords make the bottom right objective the Proving Ground. The Deepkin battle tactic is desecrate their lands. The Archilian King uses heroic leadership, and the Vampire Lord uses their finest hour. The Archilian King casts Mystic Shield but is unbound. The Eidolon casts Steed of Tides. The Vampire Lord uses all-out defense, and Doralia shoots at him, but deals no damage. The first Alopex opens fire at the Vampire Lord, dealing only 1 damage. Another Alopex shoots, but deals no damage at all. A pair of Alopexes shoot next, dealing 3 damage to the Vampire Lord. The next pair of Alopexes use all-out attack, dealing 2 more damage to the Vampire Lord. The last Alopex deals 1 more damage to the Vampire Lord. The Deepkin score 2 and more objectives and completes their battle tactic for 5 points.
So that was turn 1. For me, I just tried to screen out as much as I could, get on as many grave sites as I could to kind of...
Did that pretty well.
Yeah, just to kind of stop things from just being able to be on the objective and then have to deal with it. Did my best to try and keep Blood Knights out of my zone.
Yeah, it did good job. You really effectively kind of control this half of the board, and zoning me out of these 2 grave sites keeps me from bringing at least my Grave Guard over here. The skeletons you don't care about, but the Grave Guard are a big one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Tried to kill the zombie dragon. Got him down to half health. Happy about that at least.
Yeah.
And I think just through attrition, hopefully, I'll be able to bring him down. And I think that's, that was it.
Good turn. You get to hold more. Did make this the Proven Ground, so you don't control that one.
Yeah.
But
controlling this one.
Yeah. So it was a solid turn, and good positioning. As you were saying during the turn, though, always it's the fear of the double.
The fear of the double
is at some
very
point
real.
Yeah. Whether it'll pay off or not. But you put yourself in a great spot and at least stopping my Graveguard from doing too much effectively for a little bit. But that said, Deepkin's turn is over, and we'll jump into Soulblight Gravelords, turn 1.
The Soulblight battle tactic is desecrate their lands. The Vampire Lord heroically recovers 2 wounds, and the Eidolon fails heroic leadership. The Coven Throne uses tactical insight on the Vampire Lord. The Coven Throne casts Mystic Shield but is unbound. And the Vampire Lord fails to cast Amethystine Pinions. The Eidolon redeploys, moving 3 inches. The Alapexes unleash hell but deal no damage. The Central Blood Knights roll a big 11-inch charge. Better to be lucky than good, Jordan. The Vampire Lord stomps the Alapex for 2 mortal wounds. The Vampire Lord attacks, making a quick meal of the Alapex. The pair of Alapexes attack the Blood Knights, who use all-out defense and take 6 damage. The Blood Knights deal 4 damage back to the Alapexes and kill Duralia. The Soulblight score 2 and more objectives and complete their battle tactic for 5 points.
All right, Soulblight turn 1 was, I'm pretty happy with it overall. I mean, I killed a shark in Duralia, which nothing, it's notable, but not an insane amount of damage. But I think just positioning wise, I've made a huge charge over here with the Blood Knights.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get into Duralia at least, but rolled an 11, got into the sharks, dealt 4 damage, so nothing crazy, but it ties them up. Really, that's the big thing. It stops them from going into something else. Like, it stops you from doubling down into my Vampire Lord with everything, right? So.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
It's big.
Yeah. And with Castleye, obviously, I got a couple buffs. They killed Duralia, so they get +1 damage now.
Yeah.
Which is scary.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Vampire Lord gets +1 wound. Less relevant on him.
Still good, though. Keeps him alive, keeps him tanky.
Yeah.
And he also is now healed D3. That's
yes,
huge,
yeah, healed from the hunger, so he's only got 2 wounds allocated to him now. Not too bad. I'm kind of regretting, in hindsight, bringing down the Graveguard. Just with, I didn't make a big charge with the Vampire Lord, so I decided to keep him back here outside of the spell range for the -D3 save.
For sure.
Which blocked off my Graveguard from even trying to charge in, and trying to put them in a position where, like my last game, they came down a spot where they're not really going to be doing anything. So I'm regretting that, and that's something I definitely have to get better about. Yeah, and then these Blood Knights did not make it in, which is okay. Leaves them kind of able to choose their targets and move up on the board. But I get my points in battle tactic as well, and we'll be jumping into a turn 2 priority.
Yeah. 2.
That's a 5 on the rocks. It's cocked into a 1. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's been my last 5 priority rolls.
Yeah, I think I got to take it.
Okay,
yeah, for sure.
Rocks coming in, making the game interesting. But we will jump into Idoneth Deepkin turn 2.
The Gravelords make the top left objective the Proving Ground. The Deepkin battle tactic is eye for an eye. The Archelian King uses heroic leadership, and the Vampire Lord heroically recovers 3 wounds. The Archelian King casts Flaming Weapon, but is unbound. The Eidolon casts Steed of Tides. The Eidolon casts Tsunami of Terror on the Blood Knights, reducing their save by 2. The first pair of Alopexes open fire and deal 3 damage to the Blood Knights. A single Alopex shoots at the Coven Throne, which uses all its defense and takes no damage. The second pair of Alopexes shoot at and deal 3 damage to the Coven Throne. The last Alopex shoots at the Graveguard, dealing 3 damage. Then the Eidolon shoots at the skeletons, killing 4. The Eidolon uses forward to victory, but fails his charge. The Achillean King uses Lord of Tides on himself and a pair of Alopexes. The Alopexes attack first, dealing 13 damage to the Blood Knights. The Achillean King fights next and finishes off the Blood Knights. A single Alopex attacks the Graveguard, killing only 2. The Graveguard fight back, using all-out attack and taking out the Alopex. The Deepkin score 2 objectives and complete their battle tactic for 4 points.
So, yes, and a beginning of turn 2, got the priority.
Step 1.
Thank you, Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rock was the true MVP. Yeah. So that went really, really well, and was able to teleport and kind of move, hopefully, most of my forces away from the big threats of like the Blood Knight and the Vampire Lord. Was a bit ambitious, I think. But I really needed to kill those Blood Knights. Yep. The ambition was really trying to go for Graveguard.
With a single shark.
With a single shark, just expecting them to like roll well and hopefully remove some of them. Yeah. But unfortunately, didn't go my way.
Yeah, just rolled poorly on your own part, right? And then I made a couple awards. So.
But I mean, it's like it's so little. It was so few at the end of the day. Yeah, and that happens. But really impressed with this combo.
Yeah, always, yeah.
That spell was awesome. Yeah. It was really cool.
Then chewing through the 8 Graveguard pretty handedly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Only 2 of the 4 sharks even had to attack.
Yeah, the other 2 just hung out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's end of beginning of turn 1.
Yeah, we did, and I did make that one a proving ground.
Yes,
which actually stopped you from taking it, taking control. So denies the hold more.
Yeah.
Here, which is big. And set me up for a Soulblight Gravelords turn 2.
The Soulblight battle tactic is against the odds. The Coven Throne heroically recovers 2 wounds, and the Achillean King uses their finest hour. The Coven Throne casts Mystic Shield but is unbound. The Vampire Lord casts Amethystine Pinions, but is also unbound. The Coven Throne uses Tactical Insight on the Vampire Lord. The Achillean King redeploys, moving 6 inches. The Alapex unleash hell, dealing 5 damage to the Blood Knights. The Vampire Lord roars at the Alapexes. At the start of the combat, the Vampire Lord uses Rousing Commander. Oh shit, watch out! The Blood Knights attack the Alapexes using all-out attack and killing both units. The Alapexes attack and deal 3 damage to the Vampire Lord. The Vampire Lord makes another juicy meal of the Alapexes. The Soulblight score 2 and more objective and complete their battle tactic for 5 points.
All right, Soulblight Gravelords turn 2 was a pretty effective one here. The big thing was, got a big charge with the Blood Knights. Yeah, which the Blood Knights, with the Vampire Lord, popping Rousing Commander, so they're all getting the buffs. Blood Knights are doing up to 3 damage on the charge. Vampire Lord slapping, so managed, yeah, between them, took out 5 sharks. So that was a devastating blow. With priority, like the king can still go nuclear.
Yep.
So that's always something we're going into the fight first turn. But I will remain in control of that objective because of the Proving Ground, and then take control of this one for the full points. And yeah, what else is there to say? Like, again, the big thing was the Blood Knight charge. If I didn't get a 10, I'm potentially just hitting that first unit, killing that one guy, and then this Vampire Lord has to clean up the other 2.
For sure.
So that big charge really opened up, and I got a little lucky. Both my charges here and previous turn there with the 11, getting the big charges with the Blood Knights is, I mean, always helps. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So those have been going my way, and then just drop the skeletons back there, just so they're a threat. If you don't go deal with them at some point, they're just going to be walking onto your back objective.
Absolutely.
And being annoying.
Making it a Proving Ground and saying, this is not mine.
Yep.
I towed your objective.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very,
nice little,
very, very good.
Nice little tricks.
Yeah.
But yeah, close game on the scoreboard. Deepkin are up against the wall though, and we're into priority.
2.
That's a 2. You win
Okay.
ties.
Yeah. Oh man, that's tricky. I have to take it. I think, or else this is just game.
Yeah. Sounds good. We'll jump into Idoneth Deepkin turn 2.
The Gravelords make the top right objective the Proving Ground. The Deepkin battle tactic is take what's mine. The Achillean King and Vampire Lord both use heroic leadership. The Achillean King casts Flaming Weapon. The Eidolon casts Steed of Tides. The Eidolon casts Tsunami of Terror on the Vampire Lord, reducing a save by 1. The Eidolon shoots at the Blood Knights, dealing 2 damage. The Achillean King's Deep Mare Horn deals 1 damage on impact to the Vampire Lord. The Eidolon uses Forward to Victory, but fails his charge. The Vampire Lord stomps the Achillean King, dealing 2 damage. The Achillean King attacks the Vampire Lord, dealing 13 damage, and he survives with, you guessed it, 1 wound. Lotan fights next, and his octopus deals the final wound to the Vampire Lord. Really? Dead from an octopus? Ouch. The Blood Knights avenge their lord and kill Lotan and his octopus. Rip octopus. The Deepkin score 1 objective and fail their battle tactic for only 1 point.
So, beginning of High Tide.
Yep.
The spicy round for Idoneth, always. Mainly just tried to see what I could do and just trying to figure out how I can maybe turn the tide here.
Yep.
But sadly was not able to. I did end up killing the zombie dragon.
Yep.
Tried to go for the this one's mine, but unfortunately
Left him on 1.
left him on 1 wound.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it happens. It would have been nice to have to put them both in combat to engage the king into both units, but I think that
He probably
might have meant he would have died
in return.
Yeah. So I didn't want to risk his death right away. I mean, still you have movement, you can make charges.
Yeah.
So potentially you can still survive this turn. If he does, then the slapback might be what I need, but we'll see. Yeah, Eidolon didn't make his charge.
Which could have been interesting. You set yourself up for a potential charge and
then
tagging
position
of the
and
objective.
tagging that objective there. So that's why the teleport went over there. The spell went off, which I was very happy with, very lucky for the tsunami, and that I think was what really helped me.
Yeah, only rolled the 1 though.
Yeah.
And something like even a 2, and you take out the king, or you do it with the king.
With,
right?
with the king, yeah.
So,
yeah, for the battle tactic.
Yeah.
So only scoring 1 this turn, just for holding this objective.
Yep.
And yeah, Soulblight turn 3.
Yes, sir. We'll jump into it.
The Soulblight battle tactic is gaining momentum. The Coven Throne fails heroic leadership, but the Achillean King succeeds. The Coven Throne casts Mystic Shield but is unbound. The Coven Throne uses Tactical Insight on the Blood Knights. The Skeletons use At the Double. The Eidolon redeploys, moving 3 inches. The Blood Knights use Forward to Victory and make their charge. The Eidolon attacks at the start of the combat phase, but deals no damage. The Blood Knights attack and take out the Eidolon. The Soulblight scored 2 and more objectives and completes their battle tactic for 5 points.
All right, not Legion. Soulblight Gravelords turn 4 here, or turn 3 still. Wow,
Turn 3.
It's been an action-packed game.
Yeah.
Okay, gentle. I pretty much, you had not much left. 2 units. And it was basically I go into try and kill the king, who's really your bigger damage threat, or the Eidolon. The king is just such an awkward position on the 2nd floor of the building where I'm not getting much into him to really leverage it. And so I went for the Eidolon here. +1 hit, wound, and save from the Tactical Insight is amazing. And then
+1 damage because
+1, and +1 wound on them, so they're +1 to everything right now, except Rend, which is that's always their downfall, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
So it wasn't, you made decent saves, but it's just the volume, right? And you rolled a pretty stellar ward on the spears.
Yeah, for sure.
On the riders, but in the end, just enough. I think I got a couple extra damage, but took down the Eidolon. The king has, popped his once per game ability. He's used all out of. Sorry. Okay. Have a good nap. Bye bye. Bye bye. Okay. Bye bye, Munchkin. Mwah.
You say bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye.
The king has popped his once per game ability for the fight first. We're past the High Tide now, so he can kill stuff and take points here and there.
But really, it's like an uphill.
Yeah. Points wise, this is, if your turn didn't already because you only scored 1, I'm getting the 5 points here, and sealing the game at this point.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But yeah, looking back, I love tactical insight. In my previous game, didn't really get to leverage it too much. Just in the way the game went, but here, the cart's still floating around, and giving out that buff, like, again, +1 hit win save on units that's 3s across the board is amazing.
Absolutely.
Especially 10 Blood Knights.
10 Blood Knights.
Yeah.
The +1 to in like hindsight, realizing that like there's so much extra damage you get from killing heroes. That the Castelli. I mean, like that was amazing, and I didn't really consider like, oh, I usually put my heroes there, kind of act more as screens for sharks. It's interesting to see that like when they do get into hero and they're getting that buff off, that's just, they're so strong, so much damage.
So getting that level or the buff from Lotan on your turn is what unlocked this.
For sure.
Now thankfully he finished off the Vampire Lord, so you're happy he was in there, but
for sure. If I hadn't thrown him in, I think it would have been a lot worse. For the king. The
king would, you might at this point probably just have Lotan.
On the field. You can do it, buddy.
And I still have the Vampire Lord trying to heal himself back up.
He'll heal himself back up to full, no problem. For sure.
But good game here. We saw, I think, like, I love sharks as well. One of the weaknesses is they don't have great saves. So if stuff can chase them down.
No mortal wound, like nothing to save against mortal wounds. Means you're super susceptible to that. It's just great to be able to move that quickly. Ideally being to spread out, but you played it really well where like I'm forced to, like I really only have one option of the target, and I have to go into that target.
And Blood Knights, like even like, the great thing, deep striking off the board edge really helps mitigate your speed advantage, which isn't that much, only 4 inches, but you have potential the run and the shooting. But that lets me engage and get in closer. And like you said, you have to fight something, and all my stuff was relatively close, where you couldn't kill one thing and be safe from everything, the hit back, which is what you want in Deepkin. Is you want to force your opponent to spread out.
Exactly.
If they can, or if you can.
Isolate your target, go for that one target. And that's where he's also very, like, he was really impressive in this matchup. I think like competitively, given so many pluses to cast, so many pluses to unbind, he's not the competitive pick. But when his spell goes off, it brings a smile to your face. It's just like, I got that -3 before through and got 3 on Archeon. So that feels good. It feels really nice.
But with like Seraphon being so prevalent, even Skaven with Thankful is great at unbinding, and we're potentially to see a bunch more Tzeentch and Lumineth coming out again. So
those books look great.
So potentially, lots of spell, strength around in different armies. So makes it tough for like, did I get a spell off all game? I don't think so.
No.
And that's a great thing about the Eidolon.
Reroll to unbind as well.
Is really good. So.
And if you get into it where it's only getting a little bit of chip damage, the heal as well, super impactful. Like reroll, you casted something, great, heal D3. Right?
No, for sure. He's Sean here, but in the end, I mean, you took out a bunch of the Blood Knights and the Vampire Lord. That final buffed up unit of Blood Knights, though, able to do the work in the end.
For sure.
Cool. Well, Mark, thanks for coming down for the game. It was an absolute pleasure. Definitely gonna have to have you back on in the future.
Absolutely.
But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that match. Good bloody one here on both sides. So always fun. Can't complain about that. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this match, and we'll see you soon in another Battle Report.